In this video, let's make a Christmas angel decoration to hang on your tree, or indeed anywhere else, or perhaps gift to friends. So you're going to need this printable template. It's free on my website and the link's in the description below and on the screen for you now. But as you can see, they're really simple shapes, so you could probably do it without even getting the template. So you'll notice the small circle is for the face, and you just want to cut one of those out in cardboard. It's only to give it a bit of stiffness, so don't worry about your cardboard, the back of an old notepad, anything will do. Just need a small piece. And then to make the cloak, you need two different fabrics. The shiny fabrics work really well, but don't worry if you haven't got one. Just two contrasting fabrics would work great. Place one on top of the other. Now I've put them right sides together. They should really have been wrong sides together. And pin your large circle template to both at the same time. This just means that they'll both be identical, and when you put them together, that'll work really well. So as I say, you want the two wrong sides together and pin it on. Now when you cut it out, you can use ordinary scissors, but if you use pinking shears like me to give the zigzag edge, it just helps your fabric not fray. So if you've got some, they're a great idea. If you haven't, just use your ordinary scissors. So once you've got those two circles, you'll see that they lie perfectly on top of each other and they're all ready for your cloak. But what about that face? We're not just going to use a piece of cardboard, you're going to use a piece of fabric. Now I'm using white because I want a little white face, but you could use any skin tone you like. So get creative, have a look what you've got in your sewing cupboard. So just draw around the circle and cut it out. It's already large enough, you don't need any extra. And then all we'll have to think about are the wings, and they're made with one piece that is heart shaped. I'm using felt and I found that works really well. You just need one layer of felt. If you use a different fabric that's thinner, you might need to add some interfacing or do two layers and stick them together. But if you're using felt, I think you'll find one layer is sufficient, nice and stiff, and they just hold in place. So you should have two cloaks, a face and a wing piece. And then you're ready to get started. So we'll start with the cloak. Now you're going to put your two pieces together, wrong sides together. You can just glue them together, job done. But if you want to sew them like mine, you can see we've got that little running stitch. We're just going to do it around the edge. Now if you use an embroidery thread, a couple of strands is probably sufficient. That's what I've used. And just put a little knot on the inside and then run your stitch around the edge. If you decide to use the metallic embroidery threads like I'm using here, I'm just going to warn you, they're a little bit awkward. They like to twizzle up and generally cause you trouble. But I just felt they were worth it. I think I just absolutely loved the effect of the gold on the wings especially. So if you've glued your cloak, it's all done, it's all ready. Just let the glue dry and then you'll be able to move on. If you're sewing it like me, you might want to have clipped or pinned them together, but just work your way around with a nice little running stitch. And it really is pretty. If you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up so it spreads to more people and we can fill the whole world with these Christmas angels. And you keep sewing and get yourself round. Now when you get to the end of your stitching, it's important you just finish off. So just do a tiny little stitch and then put your needle through the loop and you can cut your thread off. It's not going to be under a lot of strain, so you don't need to worry about lots of tidying off at the end. And then if you want to do a running stitch around your wings, you're just going to repeat that process but round the wings. Don't worry about having the knot on one side because you're going to cover it when you glue the angel to the front. So just like you did before, nice little running stitch all the way around the edge. As I say, if you've used thin fabric, now is the time to glue those layers together or sew them together, just so they've got enough stiffness to hold. You'll be surprised, they don't need very much. So then that's those pieces ready. So let's look at your angel's face. You should have your cardboard circle and your fabric circle, and I'm going to recommend that you don't just stick your cardboard to it because it's very flat. So if you've got some toy filling or wadding or even just a couple of layers of fabric that you can put between the cardboard and the circle of fabric, you'll find it really does make a difference. So then fold your fabric back and see if you're happy with it. And if you are, it's time to glue it in place. I'm using a simple multi-purpose glue, and as you can see, I've nearly finished it. And you just want to put some glue on the fabric around the edge so that you can bring it onto the back of the cardboard. If you do it in lots of little bits, you get an even better effect on the front and you don't get so many big points. And you'll probably find at this point you have to add some more glue because you probably didn't put enough on once they start getting folded. You can get a little bit gluey here, don't worry, it'll soon clean off. So when you turn it over, you might find there's quite a lot of little points and you're not happy with them. Just press them in, squeeze them in place until you're happy. I wouldn't get too worried about them because you'll see on the one I've already made, I had quite a big point and I just put it at the bottom and it became the chin. So really don't worry. Once you're happy, it's time to do the halo. So I'm using gold ric-rac because I just think it's very pretty. But you could be using ribbon or you might even draw your halo on. Assuming you're sticking something on, make sure it's plenty long enough to wrap around the back because that's where you're going to glue it. I don't recommend putting any glue on the front because it tends to escape and make a mess on the face. So you just want a bit of glue on the back. And if your ribbon's very fine or it's a bit of cord, you could just put the glue on the back of the face and that'll work. So wrap them round and make sure they've stuck. And then you just need a face. And you can do as much as you like. I'm just doing 2 little eyes with a gold pen because I'm not very good at drawing, especially not faces. But if you've got more talent, please feel free to draw a beautiful face. So what's left? A hanger. I'm using gold cord. You want it the length of the hanger you want, plus a couple of inches so that you can stick it well to the wings. I was going to say to the body, but you're doing it to the wings and the head really. You're going to trap it in between. So you could use embroidery thread, ribbon, cord, it doesn't matter. You're just going to glue it in there. So let's get that cloak made. So if you've got a shiny side, that's coming up. And then you're going to fold the top back. And then bring those sides together to form the front of that cloak. Check that you're happy with it and do that by putting the head in place. And if it's not quite right, just fold it again. And then once your head's there and you're happy, you can glue your cloak in place. All you'll need to do is put a little bit of glue under those folds just to hold them there. If you've got shiny fabric, be really careful, in fact any fabric, not to get any anywhere else because it really does make a mess. So this is a time to be really careful. Once that's fastened down, you can glue the head in place. So just a little bit of glue in there and then place the head on. So you've got an angel. And just make sure you're happy with the cloak. And then take your wings, make sure you're working on the side that your knot from your thread is on, and glue your hanger in place. You can add plenty of glue because it's all going to get covered. Make sure your hanger's exactly where you want it. And then you're going to take your angel and glue your angel in place. Again, you can see you can put plenty of glue on. You don't want it too near the edge. So there you have it, a completed angel. I hope you've enjoyed making your own Christmas tree angel and that you'll make many more. Please let me know in the comments below how you've got on with it. And here are some more decorations for you to try on the screen now.